Uh, there was who was it? Chad Etzel reverse
Yes.
engineering the macOS Genie animation, and this was the last talk or presentation before the closing keynote. And this was he kind of went over the top on this, I'll say.
He
Uh,
did.
he went into, it started out as kind of like he was almost like a dry comedian, almost like kind of starting out real slow and real just kind of detailed. Oh, I tried this and that wasn't it, and then he shows some demo he did, which he obviously spent a lot of time on, and talks a little bit more, does it again, and went all the way through until he had really figured out how to make that little. Oh, and if anyone doesn't know, the macOS Genie animation, that's what we call it when you minimize the your window in macOS. It just takes like the window contents and they go down into the
Sucks down
little,
into the dock. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
into the
doing it right
dock.
now. Yes.
Right,
He went
right.
into the most math I've ever seen or heard about Bezier curves.
Bezier curves.
It was really well done.
He says all Bezier curves are a pile of lerps in a trench coat. That's what I wrote down.
That's right. What was a lerp? Did you write down what a
Lerp,
lerp
yeah,
was?
it's linear interpolation. See, I knew what that one was. Actually, that's a linear interpolation. It's basically saying, hey, if you have a value here and one here, linear interpolation is basically, give me the value that's some percentage between these two,
Ah,
whoever
okay.
they are, and whether this value is just like a line, like if this is 6 and this is 10, 50% would be 8. So if you give it the 50%, it would give you 8 back. But you can do it with not just 2 points. You could do it with like a two-dimensional location, coordinates, or 3 dimensions or more or whatever. But yeah, basically, I don't know. That's what he said. He said a lot of things that made a lot of sense when he said them, and a lot of them now are sort of out of my head. But
Sure. Yeah. Well, seeing it on screen, it was the most fun I've ever seen math uh, be shown. I'm not a mathematical person at all, and it was a great demo with math.
and the end of his talk, um, he was going to just give us an example, showing, hey, look, I've done this reverse engineering of this thing, and so he had dummied up a demo app that looks like macOS. I forget, he
Fun.
had it that said macOS some version alpha whatever is available, and then he clicks it and it looks like it's load something up and it's like, oh, it's running on my iPad. See, macOS on my iPad, and it was like, I mean, it's fake, but he had like he had the menu bar and the dock and he had icons and he had window. I mean, you could click one of those things and it would open and have things in it and close, and he had messages supposedly appearing, and he
Right.
spent a lot of time on that demo at
I
the end, and it was
I don't know
super
how he did
super
that.
amusing. Yeah.
It was very well done. It was like the Mac OS running on his iPad. It
Yeah,
was very well
he
done.
implemented a whole lot more of Mac. It's like, and here's Mac OS, for my for my example. It was just kind of a lot. I'm not
Yeah.
sure who was the most amusing, if it was that or if it was Mustafa's Yusuf's CloudKit presentation, where we all learned, what do we do, Dan?
Force unwrap all the
Force
time.
unwrap, because we don't make
Yes.
mistakes,
We don't make mistakes,
right?
and
No
network
errors.
errors never happen, and you'll never reach a fatal error. If fatal errors and force unwraps everywhere. It was what not to do, but he did it, really entertaining way. The crowd was laughing a good part
Yeah.
of the presentation. That was a very funny use of a live coding demo